You're slow, aren't you? It must be too darn hot in here. Thank you very much. Look, I'm here I'm not here all week, actually. It's great to be in the northeast. Though I was in Northampton yesterday evening for question time, and when I got off the train at 1 o'clock in the morning, there was a police car outside. I thought, blimey, Brenda Blethyn's going to get out at any moment and arrest me, because there's bound to be a dead body somewhere. It is brilliant to be here. I mean, the one thing we haven't mentioned so far is video games. And of course, the Northeast is a really great place for video games. I'm going to terrify somebody at Ubisoft now and say that I went and saw one of their prototypes that's coming along. It is absolutely amazing. Beautiful, apart from anything else. I'm sure everybody's going to want to be playing that game when it finally comes out in a couple of years' time. But that's a dramatic amount of investment. It needs lots and lots of young people coming through into the creative industries. And one of the challenges I think we always have is, how does a kid in an ordinary school know that the creative industries is a possible career for them? That's the big challenge for us, I think, in the country. Look, I just want to start, well, I've already started, I suppose, haven't I? But I'm going to carry on. It's always a bit of a carry on. My mother, who died a long time ago, she gave me, she left me a little cross. Well, it's quite a big cross, silver cross. Very old, very basic, it's not particularly beautiful. And she'd been given it, she studied at Glasgow School of Art, she was given it by Sir D.Y. Cameron, who was a famous Scottish artist in the early last century, who she knew, and he had been given it by William Morris. And it's always a reminder to me of the kind of inheritance, and a lot of the creative industry is about an inheritance, isn't it? We respond to the things that we know from the past, whether it's W.H. Auden writing a poem about the Musée des Beaux-Arts in Brussels, or it's an artist referencing another artwork from the past. And we have some major anniversaries come out this year, Turner, 250, Jane Austen, and so on. And we have some phenomenal inheritance in the creative industries, whether it's Shakespeare and Dickens or Conan Doyle, who is often in China considered to be our greatest gift to the world, or Vanbrugh, some of the buildings that many people come to look at from around the world. And I would say that our built heritage is just as important as many of the other parts of our creative industries. So that inheritance is really important, I get that. But it's also then what you do with that inheritance. It's how you create for the future, because in the end, creativity is about, well, I often think of it in relation to Autolycus in Winter's Tale, the snapper up of ill-considered trifles. It's finding something and making something out of nothing, and making something of value that somebody else wants to value out of nothing. Whether it's a part of your own story that you manage to tell, or it's creating a physical thing out of marble or brass or whatever it may be, or it's taking a story that has never been told before. I just think of that book, I forget the woman who wrote it, The Five, about the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. And thank you, somebody's saying in the front row, everybody else will remember, my memory is shocking and I can't read because I've not got my glasses on. So that's a really important part of what I think the creative industries are here to do. Now, government is not always very good at creating something out of nothing, or creating a fuss out of nothing maybe sometimes, but we are here. If there's one message I hope that you'll take away from today, from the government, it is that we are here to enable growth in this sector. 1 in 14 people in the UK now work in the creative industries, and my guess is that by 2029, certainly in the next 10 years, it'll be more like 1 in 10, if not 1 in 7. £125 billion worth of value to the UK economy. This is a major part of our industrial sector, as Baz has already referred to, it's great that Shriti is involved in the industrial strategy that we're laying out, We want you to give us, it says time's up here, by the way. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to ignore it for a moment because I'm now going to channel my inner Jennifer Aniston in that L'Oreal advert, and now for the science bit. Because there's bits apparently I've got to read out. It says here, we are incidentally announcing £60 million worth of support, £40 million in funding over the next financial year, which is a further £16.3 million for the Create Growth Programme. Yeah, you can applaud all of this, yeah. £2.5 million for the Supporting Grassroots Music Fund, £5.5 million for the UK Games Fund, £1.6 million for the Music Export Growth Scheme, and £7 million for the UK Global Stream Fund. All of these things are brilliant. There are 4 cultural projects receiving £16.2 million from the Cultural Development Fund, which we're announcing today. The first we've already referred to, the Centre for Writing, which is getting £5 million. Secondly, Glassworks, as has already been referred to, another £5 million. Thirdly, Harmony Works, which is a music education centre in Sheffield, £3.5 million. And the Tropicana, a cultural venue in North Somerset, which is going to complete the final development phase and transformation of the historic Grade 2 listed seafront complex into a flagship cultural centre in Weston-super-Mare, which is getting £2.7 million. All of which is absolutely brilliant. And I just want to say one other thing. I was in Northampton last night, as I said, and somebody was complaining to me. They said, why is the train service in Northampton so rubbish? And of course I was tempted to say 14 years. But I didn't. Because the truth is that the reason that the train service in Northampton is rubbish is because the burghers and the councillors and aldermen of Northampton in the 19th century decided that they didn't want a railway to come from London to Northampton to Birmingham, because they didn't want to be a stopping place for people, horrible oiks from Birmingham or horrible oiks from London coming to Northampton. And so the trainway went to Peterborough. And it's a kind of message, I think, for all of us. We live at a moment now where we as a government are absolutely determined to grow the creative industries. It's a central part of our mission. Keir Starmer, it's not all going to be about Shostakovich, by the way, other composers are available, but we are deadly serious about a creative education for every single child in this country. We are absolutely determined that it's not a good school unless it's provided a creative education for every child. We are absolutely determined that we're going to reform the apprenticeship levy so that everybody has a chance in the creative industry of using it properly. And I tell you this, we will not be producing adverts which try to persuade ballerinas to retrain. Thank you very much. Now, without any further ado, without any more singing from me, Riv Carla's going to perform for us. Now, I think somebody else is introducing her properly. I think.